Hello everyone. In this lesson, we'll be creating a graphical prototype. But before we actually draw this prototype, let's discuss why we, as developers, are dealing with graphical prototyping. First of all, we're not designing, we're prototyping. This final product that we'll draw will have a terrible design, illustrating not how the final product will look, but how it will function. Why are we creating it? It's primarily needed to unify the vision of all project participants. Who can the participants be? They can be your partners, the people you share the project with, or your clients, the people who pay you. If you're doing the project alone, you still need to draw a prototype and do all the same things as if you are developing the project in a team. Because doing a project differently would just be inconvenient. So further discussions proceed as if you have some partners. If you do not, imagine them and still do everything the same way. Okay, first, by drafting a prototype, it will serve as your technical specification. That means your clients won't need to write a multi-volume specification for you. What's wrong with a multi-volume spec? Because nobody can compose it properly. Nobody can read it properly either. Nobody will maintain it. And it's not needed. And this multi-page spec, usually clients and partners come to you with a high-level idea. For example, Sergey, we want to create a platform where educational courses can be created, taken, and assignments checked. And accordingly, these courses can be purchased there. They might say something like, or they'll say, Sergey, we have an investment fund. Let's make it so that we can post what to invest in. Others can invest. And then we can distribute the profits and view numbers in the personal account. People actually come with such high-level ideas. And it might seem that if they told you this, you understand how to do it. It's true, you understood. But it's far from certain, and most likely not the case, that they understand it in exactly the same way. I had a specific case. My first order to develop specifically a multi-user service. It was an example with a platform, like a Get course, killer, yes. A platform for conducting courses. We were a team of 3 people, programmed something for 2 months, then came to show. And it turned out that they expected something entirely different from us, although I thought it was impossible to understand the task any other way. We won't analyze this case. We'll just do everything to avoid ending up in such a situation again. That's why we need to draw a graphic prototype. When you draw it, what will it represent? It's just a set of screens with a menu, where the menu items are clear, the pages are clear, the buttons are clear, and it's clear how they more or less interact with each other. You show this to your partners or clients, and they say, well, yeah, that's what we meant. Or they'll say, no, you didn't quite understand us. We wanted it a bit differently here. And you can quickly adjust it right on the spot. And they said, yes, this is exactly what we wanted. And you understand that this is what you'll be developing. When you're doing this, it might seem like an excessive step. But actually, it's not. That's 1. You've aligned on the vision. 2. You take this as the terms of reference, and then we'll be building the backlog based on the drawn prototype, which is our task list. But that will be in the next lesson. And then this same prototype you give to the designer as a specification for him. So he already knows what you are developing. He understands how you approximately want it to work, and he makes it look good while improving the micro UX. He might realize that this form isn't very user-friendly. It's too large. He might break it into 3 separate pages or something else. The designer knows best. The main thing for you is to show how it works, and it will be easier for the designer to work within more or less drafted boundaries, and the result will be more predictable. In the meantime, while the designer is sketching your graphic prototype, you've taken it as a specification and start programming. You can work on your project even without the design. You can just throw in some rough buttons, or only work on the back end initially, and then, when the design is ready, you can just integrate it into your project, but they will fit together perfectly at one point because they both came from the same prototype. Alright. So, and lastly, why is it good for us to draw the initiating prototype? Because we are going to develop it later, and we can draw it logically on one hand, because we are developers. Logic is our strong point. And secondly, We can design it in a way that's convenient for us to develop. If it's convenient for us to develop, firstly, we'll do it faster, and secondly, it will be more enjoyable for us to do. And therefore, it's better if we are the ones initiating the creation of the prototype. All right, good. We've covered the reasons why we are doing this. Now let's discuss how to do it. In a prototype, when your partners or clients bring you an idea, or you come up with one yourself, you need to identify what's key in it and outline this core functionality and everything that supports it. In our case, our whole educational project that we will develop involves creating a service where people can post their ideas and showcase them to the world. Here's the basic idea of the service. From this, an understanding emerges. So, what should be there? First, an authentication feature, because these ideas belong to some authors. There should be a feature to publish the idea, authors of the idea, and some kind of list of these ideas and possibly searching through them. So, you understand, right? There is already a cloud of features forming around this key idea, and they need to be displayed in a graphic prototype. At the same time, there should be a boundary, MVP, that is, minimum viable product, minimally viable product. It should be such that if you remove something from it, it is no longer the same product at all, and at the same time, if you add something to it, it won't change it drastically. And somewhere around here, you need to stop. This is the bare minimum, but it will already be valuable and implement a key feature. Good. So, we have also outlined an approximate direction for this. Well, let's start drawing. You can actually do this with paper and pencil, and that would be fine too. Just take a photo and show everyone. However, I really like the Balsamiq Mockups software. It's available for desktop, so you can download and install it, and there's a cloud version. Use whichever way is convenient for you. Unfortunately, these two formats are incompatible, but that's not important. If you're professionally using Figma or any other editors where you can quickly sketch something out, then use those. But I like Balsamiq because it produces very rough designs, and clients never mistake them for the final design. So, at the same time, when you throw it together, you don't worry about making it look nice because it will still look crude anyway. And you focus specifically on its functionality rather than appearance. Well, let's get started and see what we come up with in practice. Create a new project, and you can immediately determine roughly what screens we'll have. So, what do we have here? I suggest starting the design by sketching the key page of your project, where your main entity is located. The main entity of our project is the idea, and the main page is accordingly the idea viewing page. Well, let's call it view idea. Great. Now we need a browser. We just drag it like this, and it looks like this. Great. So, what will we definitely have here? We'll have some kind of header, right title, subtitle. Just click it, and it adds. All right. So, what will the title be? My idea name. Yes, great. This will be our page title. Then, well, we'll apparently have some text description. Great. You see how we don't have to come up with some text. And we just show that, well, there will be some text here. Well, I also believe that we should immediately show the author's avatar under this idea's text, and in general, indicate that this is the author. Therefore, we can take this one. And right here, for example, Sergey. Well, and to make everyone understand who Sergey is, we can mark him as the author here. It's not a fact that this will be in the design, but everyone can understand that the author's name can be seen here. Great. Unfortunately, there is no text wrap in the title, so I can copy this, delete the title, and insert the real text into the text area. Author Sergey. Well, and nothing prevents me from playing with the font size. There are settings, the minimum ones, but exactly those you need will be here, all clear to everyone. The avatar and author are shown. Just now, this was a very long component, of course. Ideally, everything should be added more quickly. All right, the author was shown. So, what else can an idea have? Let's group the author. There are very few functions you need to know here, but they are useful. You can press Command-G, and it will group. Or right-click here, there's Group and Ungroup property. All right, everything grouped. Now, when we click on it, we can move it. If we double-click, we can go inside and expand it back. All right, grouping is one of the key features we need. Then I think the idea can have a gallery. Yes, we're resizing the browser because we ran out of space. And we add an image gallery. Okay, that square can move to the side. Can. All right, I think not everyone will understand that. We mean there's a gallery here, so we're adding a sticker. Image gallery. All right, now it's absolutely clear what it is. So, what else will the gallery have? Well, likes. Yes, let's find a like icon. Okay, let's add likes. Yeah, we can place them anywhere. Let's put them under the text, between the gallery and the text. Again, we group these two components. All right, let's move the author down a bit and add likes. For the sake of design aesthetics, it's important to catch the balance here. I mean, it's clear that it's a like, but it needs to be obvious to everyone when they see it, so that your prototype immediately forms a vision in their heads. They had to do fewer mental operations to understand what is in front of them. Here. This way it will be optimal. All right, number of likes. Okay, good. What else are we missing here? Yes, seems like there's a gallery, likes, and an idea name. Well, it may seem obvious, but let's add, I don't know, an idea publication date. Created at 04.04/2023. Okay, let's take the date and put it at the top. Uh-huh. All right, that's indicated. All right, good. You can see the idea page. Now that you've drawn the main idea page, I recommend sketching your layout, meaning your menu and logo design. Again, take any title, write the name of your service here. If you don't have one, come up with a working title. That's it. Our service will be called IdeaNick. Like each idea has a nickname, and you can always find it in a browser at, for example, ideanick.info/idea/my-idea-nick. Let it be so. Well, this is already redundant. No one will look at this. This is just like that. Okay, you have a logo here, and then there should be some menu items. How they will actually be arranged, horizontally or vertically, doesn't matter in your prototype. What's important is to understand what menu items will be there and how to generally navigate the service. And the designer will decide, maybe they'll move something to the left corner, something to the right, and so on. So we just take the menu component, assuming it's a program's menu, but we can easily use it in our service. So let's select what we already have and move it slightly to the right. Select and move. Not enough space. You can stretch the browser window. So we have a menu. Well, here we go. What items should we have? Obviously, we should have a list of all ideas. Then let's have, for example, well, logically, we need to be able to create a button. A designer can make it so that you first go to all ideas, and there will be an Add Idea button. But it's easier for you to immediately show all the links to all your pages that you have. Therefore, I will write this idea. Then, probably, it makes sense to make a button. This idea, all ideas, for example, my ideas, the ones I added. You can call it my own ideas. Say what else you want to see in the list of all liked ideas, all the ideas you liked. Like it, ideas. All right, let that be a menu item. Of course, you should have a login, logout button. Yes, but let's assume we have an authorized user, so there will be a logout button that allows them to exit the system. All right, and you have an option to enter your name and change your avatar, so my profile. Yes, my profile. Good. At this stage, it's okay if you forgot something or decided to remove it. You can still do it. The main thing is that you've added it now, and it's already there. So there's some unnecessary stick here. All right, now you will need this layout in many places. Therefore, I suggest you group your browser and menu and do the following. Convert, Tools, Symbol. That's it. No more special functions here. We've converted it to a symbol, and now we can use it on all pages, wherever they are. There. Let's just apply this. Okay? The viewing page and the idea are already made. Now we understand what other pages we need. So, logically, let's do all ideas next, meaning how others get to this page, and the list of all ideas. Right. All ideas. Good. We inserted our browser, and here we can adjust the height well, and it shouldn't shift. Good. Then just double-click on it, and here you can move it. Look, here's the situation. When you edit a symbol, it tells you that you are not overwriting the original symbol, but just changing its properties. So now, when I minimized this browser window, it became shorter here, but it remained long here. If I want to change something everywhere, I can say, yes, I want to change it everywhere. And logically here, for example, change menu items, right? I can put a break here, and it will display everywhere. All right, I press Escape, back to wireframes, and now I have the logout here and here, below the line. Great, that's it. I don't really need the other functions here, and I can find all components in the search line, or browse through here. Okay, well, we need all IDs. We take the heading and insert all IDs here. Now, it's important to decide what our card will consist of. It will consist of the idea title, which will be smaller than the other one. Good. My IDNN. Then there will be a short description. This idea, probably, right? Let's just make it shorter, and it will become clear that it's a short description. Okay, and I think we also need to show the number of likes there, but without the ability to like. So we just copy it from here, delete this, paste it, and get the number of likes. And we make this smaller too, so that it's clear this is attached to the idea, and not something separate. Okay? Yes, quite a good list. I don't see the point in displaying the author here. The main thing is that there's an idea and a number of likes. That's all. You've already outlined the structure of this page, so there's no need to invent anything else. Move the like count a bit closer. All copied, pasted, pasted, pasted. And everyone understands that there will be a list of ideas here. Great. This page is also ready. We can move on. Now we need to figure out how to create such an idea. Accordingly, there should be a form called Add Idea. Let's create it. Yes, you can simply copy everything here. Command A, Command C. Let's create a page, rename it, Add Idea, so. And the page will be called New Idea. So the button is called Add Idea, and you call this New Idea. Buttons are usually named in the infinitive, and headings not in the infinitive. Okay? New Idea. What is this? New Idea is a form. Looking for the input component here. Text input. This is just a rectangle. Here. And you can find the layer, label. It will be a text label. Okay, so it's done. And what do we have here? We can build pages. It's a title, a big description, a small description, an image gallery. Yeah? Well, that's all we see for now. Title. So again, I suggest we group this and move it further. So, title. Here will be short description. So I clicked something wrong. Short description. Later. We are not happy. We are not happy that this is an input. Well, anyway, short description can just be a long string. Let's visually show it like this, for people to understand it's something longer than a title. Okay? And we'll also need text. Well, it's like the full text, let's say, full text. But input is not suitable because it can't be stretched in width. We can use text area though. All right? Took the text area. This one can be removed. Place this one here, and it will be clear it's a big text. Let's move it closer. Good. We also need an image upload button, So just add a button like this, and you can throw in some pictures as if it's a gallery that you can manage from here. So, new idea, all done. Here are some buttons. Upload to gallery, upload to gallery. And when we fill out this form, I'd like to be able to save this idea and create it accordingly. Create idea. Yes. And the key buttons so that people's eyes catch on them, they can be marked with color too. There are color settings here. But where are they? Ah, here it is. Yes, there aren't many colors, but you can specify any. All right. I want blue buttons. Done. It automatically changes the color, so it's very convenient to prototype here. All right, this page is ready. It's logical that an idea can be edited somehow, so we understand this now. We created the idea. How do we edit it later? Accordingly, we need to think through this scenario too. We are thinking it through. Let's add a button called Edit Idea, but it should only be visible to the author, right? So, for clarity, we add a comment. This button visible only for the author of the idea. Okay, sticker adjusted, done, marked. All right. Well, again, to make it easier for people to understand, you can say yes. The idea edit form is exactly the same as the idea creation form. No, I'm saying don't burden people with anything, so just make a duplicate. You can go all out and turn this entire page into a symbol, and in this symbol, only change the title. But here's the rule. Don't worry about it at all. It's easier to just copy and spend 20 seconds to change it. Write edit idea here, and it will become clear that this is edit idea, my idea name, all set. And here's the name of the same idea. So, my idea name, yes, all set. And here will be the Save Idea button. Well, you can insert some lines here for better understanding. But by now, everyone will understand something is filled in here. You may not add it, in general, as you wish. All right, so we have all the ideas. Page for viewing ideas. Next, my personal ideas. Well, it seems very similar to this page. We can put it here too. Kind of a duplicate. Let's move it below. So, my own ideas. Ideas. Good. And we can just copy this header from here and paste it here. Everyone will understand. It's okay for pages to repeat. It will be easier for people to grasp. At the same time, if you really want to get into it, you can set the links so that when you click on a page, it changes. Nevertheless, it's also important to break them up immediately, because later you'll be showing this to your partner clients. And the clients will say, listen, let's put an edit button right here on the page of my ideas. Perhaps it will be important for them to say this at this stage. You could tell them, don't worry guys, the designer will figure it out later. But actually, it's better to immediately satisfy all these requirements that are easily met. And it will be easier for you not to copy this page at that moment, but just to come here and add buttons. And that's it. So, you have my own ideas, liked ideas. Well, it seems it should be the same. Liked ideas. Oops. So, rename. And rename here. Liked ideas. Liked ideas. All right. So, it turns out we implemented these buttons. We have authentication, right? And it's also important to illustrate it because authentication is similar across projects. But often many questions are resolved at this stage. Do we want registration via phone, email, or through which social networks, and so on? This also needs to be displayed. So we need to create a page for registration, login, and so on. We'll simply call it out and add all pages related to authentication here. Sometimes it's more convenient not to make a single template for each wireframe. but to create many pages in one. That's what we'll do now. Okay, we inserted it. We'll have small pages here. And right away, we'll show the menu items for unauthenticated users. They won't have my own ideas. They won't have any of this at all. It will only have all ideas. Sign in and sign up. Sign in and sign up. All right? And accordingly, we need headers. Okay? All right? Insert the header. But first, registration. Yes, we need an input. All right? Let's say at this stage we want users to have both nicknames and emails. So, our idea is that both ideas and authors have nicknames that will be used in page URLs. Hence, the nickname part 1. Field is empty, okay? Then, let them enter an email, because we need emails. Okay. And, well, what should they enter here? Password. And here's the classic now. And here's the classic password again, where we ask the user to repeat the password to ensure they know what they set. That's it. We've drawn this and everything became clear. We take our button, add it, and here it's sign up. You don't need to render the form state here or how the inputs will look if they enter an incorrect email. None of this matters. Only what defines the service's operation as a whole is important. Okay? The sign-up page is ready. We can group it. And to the right, to the left, below, anywhere you can move and create as many pages as you want. Here we specify sign in. Well, sign in will simply be by nickname and password. Like this. Sign in, good. That's all. Sign up. Sign in. All right. Everyone understands how to access our service. So, we forgot my profile page. Let's fix it. All right. My profile. Insert it. My profile. So, what should we have here? We should have a form to change the password here. Let it be like this. So, save password again. Okay. Password, password. Change, password. Yeah. So, and it will be called old password. You need to enter the old password, then enter the new password. That's the idea. Okay. He'll fill out all these 3 fields and have his password. So we'll combine it, but it's logical to give it some kind of title, since it'll be the password. Again, you don't have to worry about phrasing. In the design phase, everything will be thought out in more detail. The meaning is what matters here. So, now let's add it inside the group. For this, we cut it, entered the group, pasted, moved it, and pressed escape. All right? Now we should also have a form for setting a username and password. Oops, I mean name, nickname, and avatar. So we'll add it too. Oops. Okay. There they are. I insert them, but can't see them. Okay, this should go higher, and it will be, well, let's call it general. Nickname. What is this doing? Nickname, real name. Okay, and another button, but this time white again, which will be called Upload Avatar. Good. And the button Save Changes. All right, we've set up the basic profile settings. So we have email. Logically, let's add a separate section for changing email. Let's add it. Here, just a field. So change. Email, new email. And the option to change email. Let's leave it as is. The designer might split this across different pages or something. We've mainly noted that we have such functionality fundamentally. So let's check if we haven't forgotten anything essential. So, right here before your eyes stands the image of your idea. If it was in your head before, it wasn't expressed and didn't exist in this world yet. But now it's here, and you can look at it, and new paths open up for you. You can sit and think about what you're missing here, or on the contrary, what might be excessive, and so on. And look at all this, and it dawns on us that yes, a search by ideas is needed. How can you manage without searching by ideas? Let's add it. So, logically, we need search. At this stage, it's quite easy. This is only needed in the list of all ideas. And I already moved the title, didn't I? These are liked ideas. The main thing here is to add. Okay, we move this lower. Insert our input. We write search here. You can write search right here. There, just like that, and add a button. That's all. Everyone understands. No need to worry about alignment. Yes, extending to the edge isn't necessary, because you see, it doesn't look good anyway. What's the difference if you stretch it here and align with the text? Well, does anything change because of this? No, that's what's good about Balsamiq. No matter how hard you try, it looks terrible. And therefore, you don't have to try. All right, added a search feature. Then you start to visualize like this. Okay, well, let's say I run it and a user pushes an idea here. Then we'll see it here, and we can check it out. What if they push some awful, terrible, ugly, obscene idea? What will we do about that? We can't have that. What if there's something extremely horrible written there? We don't want to show such ideas to our users, and we don't have any moderation functionality here. But we should design it somehow so it's not too complicated. Let's just establish that our service has some admins, and they have special rights, including the right to block ideas. With this in mind, let's add another button here, which will be visible only to admins. This button is visible only for admins. And this will be the block idea. You don't have to elaborate on how it works here, because it's generally understood that in practice, you've already thought it up in your head. When they click block idea, everyone who visits this page will see a red banner saying the idea is blocked instead. And in the list of all ideas, I simply won't display it. That's your clever plan, and you've expressed it by creating this button. All right, we invented idea blocking. At the same time, it should be understood that not all features you want to create can actually be reflected in a graphical prototype. In particular, I would like everyone to receive an email on the first day of each month with information about which ideas were the most liked in the past month, like a top 10 list of the most popular ideas. You could design an email for that, or you could discuss it verbally in a meeting. And at the same time, it should be understood that your graphical prototype is, of course, the primary source of your task. But it is only needed at the stage of initially agreeing on something. Then you get a backlog, which we'll create in the next lesson. And that's where it's logical to add all these features. At the same time, if you realize that you have a bunch of ideas to enhance this service, but they go beyond the MVP, meaning they can really be done after launch, just cut off what can be done before launch and what after, and try to restrain yourself to do as little as possible. And accordingly, don't visualize the unnecessary. All your brilliant additional ideas, which may be good or may not be, that's not the point. The point is that they should not be included in the MVP if they are redundant. You will simply add them to the backlog. But actually, we will talk about the backlog structure and how to approach it in the next lesson. So, what about our side? We've drawn up a prototype, and now we need to present it to our partner clients. For this, it needs to be provided to them in some format. In the browser version of this program, there's an option to share it among participants. However, it might not be convenient for everyone. It's not exactly the tool where it's crucial for everyone to work together. It's better if only you edit it. You can export it for them. Let's give it a proper name first. Idea Nick. Good. And then we export. It's very convenient to export directly to PDF. Exporting. We wait. Open it. And look, you can send it to them simply as a PDF. They will see everything. It will be displayed correctly. They can even view it on their phone. At the same time, I recommend not doing this. Don't send them anything. It's better to show the prototype in a live meeting or call. So the plan is the following. You draw the prototype, call your partner's clients and say, so and so. I drew a prototype. Let's align our vision. Let's view all the screens. When is it convenient for you to work on this? He says, well, let's do it then and then. You set up a call, share the screen and describe in your words where everything goes. And you may not even start from this page. You started drawing it, but you say, we have users who come to the main page. On the main page, we will have all the ideas. He can go somewhere else. Goes to an idea and sees this. Here is such and such. So you understand, you are telling a story. You can literally lay this all out in 2, 3, 5 minutes. Then the discussion will start. He will start asking questions. Why is it not like this? Making some suggestions. And you just need to take notes. That's it. Note everything down. If possible, you can log into the program and change everything in his presence. And again, show him. Here you can engage in some co-creation and complete the prototype together. If there are many revisions, or if you understood it wrong, you need to redo everything, no problem. Take more time, and go through the cycle once more. Draw everything, demonstrate, and discuss. And as soon as you manage to agree on the prototype, among all the participants of your project, you can move on to creating the backlog. And when you create the backlog, only then, you can pass your prototype for work to the designer. Well, about how to hand over the prototype to the designer and how to negotiate about it. We will also consider this in the next lesson. But now I'll point out, that much depends on the designer. They can simply make your life harder by having a design that lacks repetitive elements. He might mess up something with the design system. He may decide that your prototype is bad and create a different design when you've already developed half of the project, so to speak, and you'll have to redo everything. Therefore, it's very important for us as startup developers to find our, let's say, favorite designers with whom you can do all your projects, just one or two. And it's not such a simple task. Comes with practice, comes with experience, but it's important. That's the goal. And find a designer with whom you can quickly and effectively create your projects. Okay, now we can move on to creating a backlog based on our graphic prototype. See you soon.